Welcome back to Upstaged, the official podcast for Ronin Theatre Collaborative. I'm sitting here with everybody's favorite artistic director, my boss, my friend, my pal, Cody Goulder.
I like to believe, though, that I am your favorite, not because I am your boss, because I am your favorite person. Eric, thank you for having me back on the pod. It's a pleasure to be back here again, as always, my friend.
Good to have you here. So, Cody, you are going to be the first of our interviews about this year's Haunted Castle, The Rot Beneath.
I wasn't scared before.
Yeah. This is going to be a series of 6 short plays taking place over October 23rd through October 30th. Can you describe for our audience, how's the show going to look? I've heard talks about tracks. I've heard different rooms will be utilized around the beautiful campus at the Irish Cultural Center and McClellan Library.
All that is true. 100% true. What you're going to experience in Haunted Castle, as we did last season with our first run, is we are hosted at the Irish Cultural Center located in downtown Phoenix, and it's an immersive walking theater experience. What I mean by that is you're going to go to different areas and different places on the ICC campus and check out some great original adaptations of Irish ghost stories written by Arizona playwrights. Each one's going to be different. Each one's going to be scary. Each one's going to be a blast. You'll be led around by a creepy guy who thinks you're here for a good time, and you're just there for a scary time. And it's not just a night of live theater and new works. It's also a night of camaraderie. There's going to be some dancing. There's going to be some drinking. There's going to be some snacks. There's going to be some t-shirts, some scares along the way. It really is a fantastic evening, and it's unique because there is no building like the Irish Cultural Center. There is no group that does theater like we do with this show. And it's a warm, welcome experience, a very intimate setting, truly unlike anything you will see in Arizona, regardless of the time of year.
Yeah. And you are directing a play and also a playwright for this year, correct?
This is my second time writing for the Haunted Castle.
Right.
The piece that I've written is a play called Remembrance that involves a anniversary date potentially gone terribly wrong as things go bump in the night and secrets are revealed. To say too much might spoil it, but it is a wonderful piece that's being directed by Zony Award-winning director Van Rockwell. I'm very excited about that play coming up. And then I will be directing, actually, a piece by our own John Perovich, a play called Peckish, that involves, again, a late-night rendezvous between a pair of quarreling lovers that may or may not end in gruesome fashion. Again, not going to spoil too much. You just have to come check it out.
Yeah. We're selling tickets. We need people to buy them. We can't give it all for free.
All I will say is it is gross.
Yeah.
That they're gross.
Yeah, they're very gross.
In ways.
I think the play I wrote, the masterpiece, is the grossest thing I've ever written in my life.
And we're much better off for it.
Thank you. So what, as much as you can say without giving anything away, what is the Irish ghost story or Irish legend that you are drawing on for this year's play that you've written?
Sure. In a very vague nutshell, there is a graveyard in the middle of Ireland. And if you troll this graveyard and you have heavy thoughts, you're carrying a lot of grief, and you're by yourself, you may happen upon a lovely woman, and she will come to you. She will throw compliments your way, and she will give you a kiss. She'll tell you you're darling, and you will leave the cemetery feeling alive and that you have met someone incredible. 30 days later, you may end up in that very cemetery where she met you. It's a cursed kiss. It is a story about be careful with your grief, be careful with your motifs, because this woman is essentially death incarnate for you, wrapped up in a beautiful package. And the story goes back a long time. Different graveyards, different cemeteries in Ireland have told this story, but they call her the Demon Bride. And so my story mostly pulls from an encounter with the Demon Bride and the ramifications that come from that.
Right. How long did it take you to write this play?
I've had similar inklings of this story for a long time. I'm actually greatly influenced by Irish writers and love Irish literature. And so to tackle this play in particular and this story is something that rattling in my head for a long, long, long time in different variations in one way or another. So really sitting down to write this play maybe took me about a day or two. And then to rewrite was another day. But this is one that it kind of helps when you can find something to connect what you're working with already and fill and sort of stitch it together in a really neat package. And we've come up with a play that's really shocking and disturbing, but also kind of sweet and sort of sentimental. Sounded a little sappy, but that's how I like it.
Yeah. No, when I read the play, I pretty much read all of them at my day job. Don't tell my day job. But I was struck by just, if it was under any other circumstances, the relationship really would have worked out. But also, like, this was kind of a fantasy of mine of just like, man, when I was going through my goth emo phase in high school, I would have been so thrilled to find out, like, there's also a demonic babe in it for you.
And that's one of the things that we wanted to do with that play, too, is have some surprises along the way.
Yeah.
Definitely what you were going to walk in expecting is not what you leave feeling. And I really wanted to play with that idea of the gotcha horror, where the tricks and everything are kind of sprinkled along the way, but misdirect. I love writing horror pieces. I love writing horror plays and horror stories because it's all about the surprise. How can I get you to the next surprise and the next shock and the next moment? And with the avenue of the Demon Bride and with Remembrance, I just hope successfully we did a good job of layering some thoughts in your head. And then once we get to the big finale, either you're confirmed or you go, oh shit, what did I just do?
And this is being directed by Van Rockwell. Van is also directing the first show for the 2026 season, Shrine, by Ashley Rosewell as well.
Very excited about that production coming up too. Van's a fantastic director for it. Ashley's an incredible playwright. She's a gift. This is a match made in heaven. Very, very excited to bring this very emotional, heartfelt, sincere play that is Shrines to you all in January. So we're looking forward to getting that one started too. And yeah, Van is incredible. The best thing I love about Van is his comfort with actors in the room. It's not one that comfort where it's like I have to show you everything. It's no, you show me, I trust you, and I'm going to make you look as good as possible. It's a very rare trait. And I love how much he trusts his performers. Our two, Kevin Harriman and Marcella Grassi, are fantastic. And Van's chemistry and camaraderie with the two of them it's really wonderful to watch on a daily basis. So what's cool about being a writer and sitting back and watching someone else tackle your own work is you get to see the things that's really allows someone to showcase their talent, showcase their personality. And I think Van has done a wonderful job with this piece. And it's going to be a fun little project in one of the most unexpected places in the ICC.
Ooh, I can't wait. And we are also having scripted tour guides for this event. So hopefully it's a little bit like the Twilight Zone where it's like, yes, we will go to this new location. We will have it introduced. When this is largely being handled by playwright in residence, John Perovich. When John was writing the connective monologues, did he give you any room for input? Did you give any thoughts on how you would like this to be presented, or is it just surprise me?
I trust John. I mean, one of the things that makes an anthology evening of theater really useful is horror has so many motifs to build anthology horror around. I know John took a great level of inspiration from things like Tales from the Crypt and Creepshow to build the structure and the narrative. And so a lot of this has been John's baby. When we got the offer for season 2 of this, and I knew I had to have someone with a vision, a scope for a narrative arc to follow through on this, I knew John was the right person to talk to about it. And I knew when John composed the through lines and put all these plays together, it was very intentional, it's very deliberate, and it's designed to give you as many scares and fun as humanly possible along the way. So I didn't really do much to craft John along the way. I trust him to craft something that is intentional and thoughtful and really brings out the scares and the joy in the evening. And so the guides are going to be a blast. It's actually something that we sort of played with last season with one of our other plays, and that play really informed for us what the night is going to be like.
That would be the Ghost in the Stairwell, starring our good friend of the podcast, Deborah Lyman.
Yeah, the Ghost of Bunrat, the Banshee of Bunratty Castle.
Yes, Grace still has the T-shirt from last year,
and there are new T-shirts coming this year too. So if any new merch, come check it out. And there may or may not be an appearance of the Ghost of Bunratty Castle at some point.
Oh.
There may or may not be. You don't know.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Speaking of John, you're also directing one of his newer plays, The Broken Age, for Space 55.
Yep. I have the great luxury and joy of actually directing 3 John Barovich plays next season.
Yeah. So it's Broken Age, Glen Oaks, which is our second show of 2026, if I'm remembering correctly. Marketing directors should know this.
May 21st is when Glen Oaks will open.
Right. And then the Macbethus Christmas Spectaculathon ever.
Close. The Macbethus Christmas Pageant Spectaculathon ever.
Missed it by 1 word.
It happens. I've had a long time to practice that title. And that is going to be a co-production with our partners at Stage Left at the end of 2026.
Ooh. How long have you and John known each other?
John and I have been collaborators, oh my gosh, for at least 10 years. John and I we both missed each other at ASU for about a year. I graduated right before he came in, and so we kept kind of crossing paths through various channels, and it wasn't until after we collaborated on his play Poseidon's Regret with Brelby Productions that we really clicked and found our energy and our lockstep, and as playwriting complements to each other. I've directed a couple of John's other projects. I've been to the Valdez Theatre Conference with him a couple times, and plays like The Broken Age, Glen Oaks, and Macbethus. It's been a real pleasure to be along with him on the collaborative process in this. And no, we weren't planning on doing 3 John plays in 1 year, but that's where it fell, and I'm really excited to be a part of working with a thoughtful playwright who truly cares about craft. Each playwright has their strengths, as you'll see, of course, in talking to the other playwrights that are involved. Everyone has their different methodology and their different style. And in knowing like your work and knowing Angelica's work, Ash's work, Paco's work, and John's work as intimately as I do, I feel like one of the things that John actually brought to the table when crafting and developing Haunted Castle this season was he brought 6 really strong writers with 6 really strong, unique voices into the fold. And that's someone that knows what they're doing. That's the sign of someone who is very thoughtful and very meticulous and very genuine about what they are putting together and crafting. It's one of the things I love about John's work. There's always a rhyme. There's always a reason. There's never wasted dialogue. And then when you get to direct his plays, he opens up and becomes a little giddy kid. I mean, we got to experience that a few years ago when you and I both collaborated on The Monster of Tempe Town Lit.
Oh my gosh, so much fun. And hopefully we'll be able to do the sequel in the near future.
Someday. I like our odds, but someday in the future. And we look forward to bringing that play to everyone too. John's a gift for the playwriting community in Arizona and the playwriting world at large. So I'm very excited for what he's done with Peckish and this evening, and I owe a lot of credit to him on all of this.
Can you give us a sneak peek or anything about Peckish, which you are directing?
Peckish, absolutely. Peckish might be the most disturbing date play you've ever seen. Peckish involves a couple that are sort of will they, won't they. One of them shows up in the middle of the night and their feet are dirty. And of course, I'll let John talk more about it too, but her feet are dirty and she's been running from something or running to someone. We don't know. But what it is funny, it is violent, it is gory, and it's a blast. And it features the fantastic BJ Garrett and Courtney Kenyon, who are some regulars of Ronin as well. But at its heart, it's such a sweet play. Like, it's a very tender, loving piece of theater that just happens to involve some really dark stuff. And that's a hallmark of John's writing. And it's been a real blast to work with a couple of actors who just want to play, who just want to come and have fun. Peckish is going to be a highlight of the evening. as will all the other shows. So I'm very proud of the work that we've done for the season of Haunted Castle. Extremely so. Yeah, it's a big win across the board. I'm very pleased with everything.
And for Remembrance, is there any plan on expanding it to a full-length play, or do you feel like it works just as it is?
I think it works as it is. However, I do see a world where this story is expanded. This story adds to new layers. I think there's a lot that with the two characters that we've written in here, their names are Blake and Connor. There's a story before this play that I feel like I want to explore. So I don't think this is, if someone were to take Remembrance and produce it right now, I think that'd be a really happy night of theater. But don't be surprised if we see these characters come back in a longer form, a bigger world, a bigger universe in the future. So I don't think this play is done by any means. I don't think this play's future is over. I am very proud of where it is right now, and a lot of that goes to our cast and it goes to Van for all the work that they've done on it, and of course the Ronin team for just bringing this fantastic night of spooky theater to life.
What for you, when making a 10-minute or a 15-minute, like a short play, what is the most challenging thing for you in that writing process?
Oh my God. Wow. That's such a good question. If I really have to pin it on anything, it's just getting started. What's challenging and brilliant about 10-minute plays is you have to do everything mechanically and technically as a writer that you know how to do. Plot, character, theme, tension, diction, all that stuff. And somehow you have to put everything you want to do in a 12-page script. You cannot do any more. You cannot do any less. It is like moving into the smallest U-Haul truck and trying to fit a couch and a full dining set in there. So it is very easy to get to a short play and just go, what? What do I do next? And man, that's something I fall into the trap a lot because I, as you can probably tell, I'm a very verbose person. So writing 10-minute plays for me are challenging because I don't want to put too much in, but I also don't want to leave it so empty that you're like, what? And that's the great challenge on the give and take with a strong 10-minute play is figuring out how much you need to get the story you want across. And for me, the biggest challenge is just getting the thing started and realizing, no, it's a story. Because it's very easy to get excited about playwriting. It's very exciting to bring new characters to life and to work on new works. But yeah, for me, I think the hardest part is first getting started and then staying focused. I can't count the number of plays I've started thinking it would be 10 minutes, and they turn into full lengths that are almost 2.5 hours long. But that's the curse and the blessing of the writing world.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
What was your first play that you ever saw produced?
I was in college. I had sort of begun to dabble in playwriting when I was in my sophomore year at Whittier College, Fear the Poet. And I had directed a production of the Laramie Project, which was my first ever big directing project. And along the way, I've been dabbling with this script. I just wanted to write something set in a bar. I had this vision of a bar and the patrons in the bar and what that world would be like. And what ended up coming out was a play called Sorry We're Closed. And it was you could call it a Cheers knockoff in many ways, but it's sort of a loose inspiration with Eugene O'Neill's Iceman Cometh, a play like William Sorokin's Time of Our Lives. But it's just an ensemble piece about a bunch of guys hanging out in a bar in the twilight hours before it all closes. And that was the first ever play that I saw produced of my own. And I was the director on it. I cast some of my best friends on it. I worked on it for many years. So I have a lot of love and deep affection for that play. And that was probably the first one that I ever saw get on its feet and get produced. Since then, other productions have come, and there are lots of shows that I've written that have found interesting life, and I've been really excited to see what happens from them. But there is something to the first ever one, and I don't know how well I answered that question, I'm realizing. But yeah, once I got into the world of writing plays and dabbling with characters and screenplays and things like that, I was hooked. And there's no greater joy in my life than writing a really good piece of theater.
That's awesome.
I mean, I attribute the way I write to the way I pick scripts and I work with people. I honestly care about the stories they're telling. I care about the characters I'm investing in. I care about these worlds. And that's how my methodology is. Like, if you don't do this for the love of something, then what the hell are you doing this for?
Yeah.
Um,
And I would say, having worked with you as a director and a co-star, you always bring that same, and as a producer now, I've always seen that same level of attention and energy just brought into everything you work on.
oh,
Where
shucks.
yeah, it's true. You make everybody excited to be there, which is such a weird thing you need for theater, because there is just, I've started really enjoying the phrase like theater widows, to where it's like, you're just out of the house so much and you're not seeing a lot of people. And sometimes it feels like going into the submarine for like a few months and then coming back out to say, like, what's happened?
I think you should write a play about that, personally, because it's a great way to describe what it is like to either live with an artist or to be an artist yourself. Like, aha, I have a theater widow now. Goodbye, take care of the children. Well, I appreciate that.
Nothing's happening between me and the castmates. We're just very close now.
We're just doing a lot of things. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Did you take care of the dogs? Hello, dog. Hello, guest appearance by Theater Dog Beck. I appreciate that, and yeah, it just comes to the fact that a play is a play. We're supposed to have fun. We're supposed to support each other, and we're supposed to love each other, and we're supposed to, even if we don't, like, we love each other for an hour a night and call it a day. And Ronin, I take a lot of pride as a company that cares deeply about its projects, and we may not make a ton of money. We may not pay people a lot of money. We do the best we can. We try. We definitely try. I can safely say that. And I can say this to anybody that wants to come to a Ronin show. You'll get our love and our care out of it all the time. I mean, a play like Venus and Fur is a prime example of that. I mean, that's a play that
just won Best Production for at the Zonies this year. Congratulations.
Congratulations to you as well. I accept that award on behalf of our company and our team, and of course, our Best Actress winning company member and performer, Melody Knudsen, for her role as Vonda. But that's a play that's an example of a passion project, and I'm dead serious when I say that nobody wanted to touch that play because they were scared of it, and they didn't want to engage in it because they didn't know what they would do with a play where a woman's in her underwear for 90 minutes of this show. But Melody never stopped dreaming of it, and we found BJ to collaborate, and Keith gave us the green light to do it, and we knew jumping into this play, like, we have to make it the best that it possibly can be. And what's followed is just unreal. And I want that level of attention and care that people saw seeing Venus and Fur, or seeing Fat Man Yoga Pants, or Doll's House, or 6 Rounds of Vengeance. Anything that we've touched since, I want them to come to a Ronin show and feel like the craft is what matters. And going all the way back to Haunted Castle, you're going to get a night of craft. Witchcraft, cocktail craft, story craft, performance craft, light craft. We have our fantastic designer in residence / special effects supervisor, Cody Hernandez. They're doing incredible work. It really is a night of just, let's have some fun and get out of our heads for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't treat theater the same way we treat Netflix, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna put it on the background and be fine. No, if you're gonna go to a play, you're there to watch the play. So let's give you something worth watching. And not just with Haunted Castle, but with the next season for Ronin coming up, we've selected a bunch of plays that are going to give you a really good night out.
Yeah. Well, it's the season of play, literally.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've definitely got some shows that are winners and we're going to play with and have a fantastic time with. So I'm really excited for everybody to come and check out what we're working on. And hopefully it inspires you to, even if you don't want to come play with Ronin, hopefully it comes and inspires you to be a writer. It inspires you to go dabble and try and explore things. I know for me personally, like a formative experience theater-wise, I was in college and I saw a production of the Sam Shepard play Tongues. I'd never seen a play like this before in my life. It's a very poetic piece. There were performers in wheelchairs. There were zombies walking up and down the stage. There was a ghost element. There was a horror element. It was scary. It was sexy. It was sepia. And I looked at that and went, oh, wait, I can do a lot of different things with theater. I can do things that are exciting. And that coupled with a love of playwrights like Samuel Beckett or Harold Pinter, or I'm a Kevin Smith snob, so I have these movies with great dialogue to kick around, and people should feel inspired to do things for themselves, and especially things that scare you. Like I always go to the mantra of do the plays that scare you, do the plays that you care a lot about because they mean something to you. And if you're scared to do it because you don't know if anybody else will get your vision, all the more reason to do it. Do pieces that scare you because you don't know what that's going to do for people. That was true for Venus and Fur with us. It's been true for Batman Yoga Pants and Doll's House especially. We're a fearless company, and even though we bring the scaries at the end of each year.
Well, Cody, I am looking forward to seeing Remembrance on its feet. It's going to be incredible. And
yes, it is.
Entire night of The Haunted Castle, The Rot Beneath. Again, that's going to be October 23rd through October 30th. Yep. I believe we have one day off on the 27th.
Yep, that's our dark day, but every other day has multiple performances. And if you don't trust me listening to this interview talking about some shows, you don't take my word for it. Eric's going to have conversations with a bunch of other playwrights who are going to give you some gold. Definitely come for them. This is a fantastic ensemble night with some really wonderful performers. You don't want to miss this at all. So definitely go to the ICC website, buy your tickets now, and have an awesome time out.
And you get a free cocktail or mocktail of your that we have created especially for this show as part of the ticket. So
it's scary.
Yeah. So you'll be getting spirits one way or the other.
Might as well be the only thing is I go bump in the nights.
Well, Cody, I hope you have a great evening. I will see you in the flesh for Load In on this Sunday.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you too, my friend. Thank you for having this time to chat, and please enjoy, for everyone listening, the rest of the Haunted Castle lineup. We really want you to come. We'd love to have you. We promise you a good time. And Eric, thank you for managing this podcast and getting us all together. And I look forward to us talking again real soon.
You can count on it. Thank you for listening to Upstaged, the official podcast for Ronin Theatre Collaborative. This is EC Darling Bond signing out, and with a quick reminder, we are now available on Patreon to fund. Help us produce our upcoming season of play. With positions from understudy all the way to producer, you can leave your mark on the Arizona theater scene with the best company around. Have a great night.